One of the famous doctors of traditional Chinese medicine, called Dr. Deng or Dong, was said to have had these magic points because he was so skilled in acupuncture, specifically for pain relief, that just a few seconds after putting in the needle, patients would say they would get instantaneous pain relief. And while it is primarily known in our profession for being good for pain relief, like orthopedic issues, today we're going to talk about anxiety and some of the acupressure points and channels that you can stimulate, press, or massage in order to get some relief in, let's say, the next 5 minutes. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Alex Hein, board licensed doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and author of the health book Master Day. So let's jump in. You know, when you think of traditional Chinese medicine, when you think that this is practiced in hospitals and in the countryside, and it's used for both acute care and chronic diseases, when you look at one of these dolls with the channels and the points, what does this have to do with actually fixing an illness or diagnosing an illness or symptoms? This seems like hocus pocus, some esoteric woo-woo energy channels, as people say in California. What does this have to do with actually fixing your anxiety? Well, actually, there's lots of modern research on acupuncture. You know, because for decades, lots of conventional doctors have said it was just a placebo and it's a bunch of bull. Now, as interesting research comes out more and more, researchers and scientists are starting to see there are very fascinating ways that acupuncture works and that it does work. So what are some of those ways from a scientific point of view? Putting needles in these specific points can actually affect your anxiety or your stress levels. So the first way that acupuncture works scientifically is that it regulates your autonomic nervous system. This is why it's so good for issues like anxiety, insomnia, and conditions that get worse with stress, like, for example, IBS or menstrual cycle changes. You know, when you look at these acupuncture channels and these acupuncture points, one of the main benefits I explain to my patients is that acupuncture has been shown to shift the body from sympathetic dominance, like fight or flight, to parasympathetic dominance, rest and digest. One interesting study done in 2010 actually used fMRI technology to show that acupuncture deactivates your limbic system, which is really hyperactive in anxiety disorders. And it also increases your vagal nerve activity, which promotes relaxation and promotes stress reduction. The second way acupuncture works scientifically is that it modulates neurotransmitters. So if you've ever seen someone take an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication, one class, for example, is called SSRIs because they work on the serotonin receptors and the serotonin neurotransmitter. So what's crazy is that acupuncture and Chinese herbs do also. Chronic anxiety is often linked to dysregulation of both the HPA axis, but also key neurotransmitters like GABA, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. One study published in 2021 found that acupuncture at the top of the skull, Bai Hui, and also stomach 36, called Zusan Li, right down here, actually increased the GABA activity, which had anxiety-reducing effects, believe it or not, similar to benzodiazepines like Xanax. The third way that it works is that it regulates the HPA axis. So when people think of adrenal fatigue, what they're really talking about is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the interface between certain centers in your brain and your adrenals. Now, acupuncture is one of the best ways to regulate that non-pharmacologically. If you're scared of putting anything in your body, you don't want to take Chinese formulas or herbs, acupuncture has an amazing effect. One study in the Journal of Endocrinology showed that acupuncture at a place called PC6 and stomach 36 actually reduced your overactive HPA axis function in stressed out rats and actually literally lowered their cortisol levels. The fourth way it works for anxiety and for stress is that it reduces inflammation and reduces oxidative stress. So one study done in 2020 found that acupuncture actually reduces the cytokines in your immune system that increase inflammation, and it actually increases antioxidant enzymes, which can actually decrease your anxiety symptoms as well. The fifth way that it works is that acupuncture actually activates your endogenous opioid system. So your body has pain-relieving chemicals, for example, called endorphins. And one of the first initial studies done on acupuncture to see how it relieves pain was studying these endorphins. So what they found is that acupuncture will, yes, stimulate the release of these endorphins, which is basically your natural anxiety relief and mood boosting, one of the kinds of chemicals. And a study done in 2018 found that acupuncture at what's called Heart 7 and Pericardium 6, Naguan, here on the wrist, actually increased your endorphin levels in the brain, reducing some anxiety-like behaviors. Now, of course, the most important thing, if you're looking for where to press or what to do, you need to know what is the root cause of your anxiety or your stress according to traditional Chinese medicine. For example, just tapping on your nose is not going to produce stress relief, right? Or just tapping on your arm will not make you feel better. There actually is a strategy. Well, as someone who's dealt with this quite a lot, I've put together a 1-hour free workshop on the lost Chinese practices that are quietly helping people conquer anxiety and stress. So it's the first link below this video. You just go to that page, punch in your email, and it will send you the link to a recording of this workshop I did. And it goes into the half dozen or so practices from traditional Chinese medicine that I used when I had these symptoms, and I currently use with my patients in my clinic in LA to actually regulate a lot of this stress response and regulate these physiological pathways that we just discussed. So go download it, it's totally free, it's a 1-hour workshop, and it will go into 5 or so practices that you definitely want to hear from your doctor, at least a conventional doctor, that can really, really help. So let's discuss 3 acupressure points that are very, very effective and also have been studied in modern clinical research. So the very first point is called Neiguan. Neiguan is called pericardium 6. Basically, the point we'll use is, if you can see on me, because I have very low body fat, you can see the tendons on the inside of your arm here. If you put 3 fingers here, Neiguan will be in between the tendons here. Now, you may have seen this for pregnant women that are nauseous. It is commonly a point used for stomach issues or nausea overall. But what you want to do is find the wrist crease, 3 fingers, and then you're going to find Neiguan in the center there, right? There are various other points in the pericardium channel that are a little closer up, but for this purpose, 3 fingers, and find wherever the bottom of that is. And basically, you want to massage the point like this. Don't worry if you notice a little bit of numbness, you are pressing on the median nerve, so that's normal. You're going to massage like this, or you can press and release, press and release, press and release, press and release. And you can do that for about 5 minutes each side. Neiguan is not the most comfortable point to massage because of the median nerve right underneath it. You know, if you get acupuncture in this point, sometimes you do get a little bit of an electrical zinger, but it's nothing to worry about. But massaging it for 5 minutes each side can be something that's very, very helpful. The second point we're going to talk about here is Heart 7 Shenmen, or Spirit Gate. So if you find your palm, it's on the pinky side, and you're going to find the bump on the edge of your wrist, your arm here. So Heart 7, more comfortable to stimulate than pericardium 6. You can just rub like this on both sides for 5 minutes, or sometimes these kinds of self-soothing motions like gentle stroking or scrubbing, channel scrubbing like this. Sometimes the rhythmic quality helps people relax quite a lot. So Heart 7 basically helps to regulate the heart rhythm and also enhances endorphin release, those neurochemicals that make you feel good, right? Like after you're running. Now, the third point we'll discuss here is called Bai Hui, or 100 meetings. Bai Hui is a little bit hard to demonstrate on myself, but basically you can fold the ears and follow where they're level towards the top of the skull. Bai Hui modulates brain activity by reducing the hyperactivity in the limbic system. It's also been found to increase dopamine and serotonin levels. So Bai Hui, very commonly used point in acupuncture and Chinese medicine. What you can do from a self-massage point of view is you can either gently tap on Bai Hui, or of course you can press and release, or just gently massage, right? Most people getting a head massage will feel more relaxed anyway, no matter where it is. Or you can even gently scratch with your nails, and it's very self-soothing on the top of the head as well. Now, the most important way to actually regulate these symptoms long-term is, of course, you have to do a pattern differentiation. You have to know where it's coming from and why it's happening. And what I found is that there are about 4 or 5 practices that you can do daily from traditional Chinese medicine that work. And I've put together a free workshop. It's the first link right below this video on the lost Chinese practices that are quietly helping people conquer anxiety, stress levels, and this kind of adrenal fatigue. So it's totally free. Punch in your email. It'll send you an email of the link to the workshop, the recording, so that you can watch it. And it's an hour long, goes all the way through my own story of dealing with significant health issues from this point of view and how I treated it with traditional Chinese medicine. So I'd highly recommend checking out that workshop. It's about an hour long, get out a notepad. It'll give you some good insights for your own healing. And don't forget, guys, I work with a limited number of new patients every month in my clinic in Los Angeles. If you want to work with me in person or virtually via telemedicine, just go to dralexheyne.com/clinic or go to the information box below this video. We have the clinic phone number, email, and direct booking link, so you can either book a consultation or a direct visit that way, and my staff will reach out. And then, before you go, I have another great video on acupressure for these kinds of symptoms right up here.